Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to everybody. Everybody watching. Everybody who has another day to succeed, to accomplish, to live, to love, to laugh. You know, we here, right? We here. I woke up with a few things on my mind this morning, so bear with me. I'm not gonna be long-winded. I got a few things I have to do, work-related. But one is a friend of mine, a brother that I did time with for 25 years, made parole yesterday, man. And when I say that put tears in my eye, and listen, shout out to, what I mean, this brother, man. We go back, man. When we first met, areas were divided by geographic. Because I'm from DC, when I got incarcerated in the Virginia system, usually guys from DC hung, or dudes from what everybody calls the DMV now, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, the outsides of Virginia, the areas like Capitol Heights and Hydesville and District Heights and Suitland and Sea Pleasant and stuff like that. And then you have Arlington and Alexandria and Fairfax. Those areas, they call that the DMV. So when I went down, I didn't isolate myself to just people from up this way, but that's how things were divided. And down there you had Norfolk, or the Tidewater area, you had Hampton, you had Newport News, you had Virginia Beach, Richmond, Suffolk, Portsmouth, and stuff like that. And this brother, man, from Newport News, man, it's when we first met, it was a guy that actually got in a fight. A guy from up here that I know, where I knew his uncle, and so his uncle and him was together, and he got in a fight with a guy from Newport News, and all the forces rallied. So you have over here the up north mob, and over there you got the Newport News and Hampton and a few other guys, and everybody's in pockets, 3 here, 4 here, 3 here, 4 here. And I think we were like maybe 15 of us, and over there it was like, man, almost like 30. But wiser men, cooler heads prevailed, as they say. And he was a cooler head, him and, a brother named Paul, and the one that made parole, my man Troy, and a couple other brothers, Major. And on our side, it was my man Roy, y'all know that's my brother, my best friend, myself, with somebody else, Artie, who was his youngest uncle, Artie, and the older ones. Now, of course, the youngins among our respective mobs, they wanted to get into something. Let's do it, Even on our side, like, I had to shut a couple of them down, like, man, be quiet, man. Let me talk to you, the youngin. And the youngin's name, coincidentally, was Troy as well, not the one that made parole yesterday from Newport News. So I called little Troy to the side. I talked to him one-on-one. But once I saw and I heard these brothers, man, display the sort of wisdom and knowledge that we were trying to display on our side with our youngest, man, me and this man, we sat in the kitchen, man, and we talked and we walked that yard. And from then, man, it's been a wrap, man. It's been my brother since I've been home. I've been able to send a few dollars, pictures to him, talk to him, and I talked to him last night. And like I said, he should be home in a week, man. So when I say my heart, because he's gonna be an asset, man. His family has a nonprofit, and they've been successfully helping the youth and helping the communities out for like 15 years, man. And so he's been doing the same in the system. So I'm honored, I'm honored, man. I'm blessed, and I feel good to see another soldier home, man, a soldier for the cause of freedom, justice, and equality, man, and community growth and development. So, I feel good. The other thing that's on my mind is peace. Peace. And I'll be honest, man, for, the life that I come from, someone in my messages for my page asked me, how could I have been caught up in the trap? How could I have, hurt, killed, my own people and stuff like that? And I was stung a little bit, because it's like, did you read, or did you hear any of my videos? Have you paid attention? But that person has a right, because that person, I can't expect people to feel me, to like me, to have sympathy or compassion for me, because I have harmed people. I have fought a lot. I've shot people. I've stabbed. In defense of myself mostly, but that wasn't always the case. And so it's hard for me to find peace. And peace to me is a tranquility in the spirit. It is a ease in the heart. It is a peace, a solace in the mind, right? So, one, to address that person, and anybody that may ask, like I said, who am I to offer my opinions on anything? Who am I to give, my side of stories? Like I said, man, I'm just a guy that was born and raised in D.C., man, to a father who had knowledge of self, but he struggled with his own, issues. After divorcing my mom when I was 2-3 years old, we were with her. She was an alcoholic for years, and I mean years. I'm talking about not just regular drinking. I'm talking about blackout drinking. She was on welfare my entire life, as was many mothers. My father worked, but he also started to drink. He had discipline. He got married again. Again, we were young. That marriage had moments of beauty with my brothers and my sister and us. We had fun at the parks and, beaches and stuff. But then there was also sadness, because whenever my father and my, stepmom got into it, she would walk out, and I don't know, all the issues. I've heard various stories, but, you grow up like that. You grow up, after that divorce, lived in the Virgin Islands, came back. Everybody in my family, not everybody, but some were selling drugs and many were on drugs, and I come back, my father, we weren't staying with him. My biological mother was, again, not working. There was 4 boys in a 1-bedroom apartment on welfare. Like I said, everything around us was, crack-related, alcohol-related, family, fighting and arguing, shootouts everywhere. The D.C. was the murder capital, 400 and something murders a year, 89, 90, 91. And I grew up in that environment. I grew up where you walk down the street, people pick with you about your clothes, people pick with you about where you living, and you either had to fight or you go ahead and accept that bully, or that bullying. And I wasn't taught to accept it, so I began to defend myself, against jokes and, disrespect, or what I consider disrespect. And what that causes is, you to grow into the person that you really don't want to be. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a fighter. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be a scientist of some sort. I wanted to be a mathematician. All my life I used to say that, because I love science. I love math. To this day I do. I can just look at math books and I'm just amazed at the numbers and the configurations and letters and all that and what it means, Yeah. So because of that life, because I've seen my mother drink herself into stupors, because I've seen her leave drinking alone and isolate herself from everybody. I've seen my mother sit in, our apartment, man, for an entire 30 days and only come out twice. Literally come out twice. I've seen my father go from a strong, hard-working man, and I love him to this day, to smoking crack, to sitting in our faces, smoking from cans and stems that he made, broken antennas off of cars. I've seen my uncles and aunts, man, soldiers, strong, family-loving people. Man, we could go over their houses, man, and eat when we didn't have nothing in our own refrigerators. I've seen them, be reduced to, smoking crack and letting people borrow their cars and robbing people and fighting and shooting. But I've seen them bounce back. I've seen them bounce back, though. Yeah, and I'm proud of them, and I love them. And I'm not saying none of this to judge. I'm saying oftentimes, man, we don't know that we are the products of what molds us. And what molds us, man, when we look at our society, when we look at this inner city, when we look at these inner cities, man, and not to exclude the suburbs or the rurals, they have issues too. But when we look at these inner cities, when I was in prison, man, almost everything that was in there was inner city. Almost everything, inner city. The projects of Norfolk, Richmond, Tidewater, Virginia Beach, D.C., New York, the projects. And I'm not blaming anybody. You know what I'm saying? Outside of us. Because it takes great sacrifice. I'm blaming myself. It takes great sacrifice, to put aside something that you might want to do, something you may want to enjoy, to say, you know what? I'm not going to add to the woes of our people, our communities. I'm going to do better and add to the beauty of our people. You see, but when we go against the grain of our own core, our own nature, then we don't find peace. And that's why so many people drink. That's why there are liquor stores on every single corner in the inner cities. Liquor stores are everywhere. And you have homeless people, you have young people, you know what I mean? You have people that are just sitting in front of the liquor store asking for $1, asking for change, man, because they're hoping to get a sip, because the sip of liquor, wine, beer will numb what they're struggling with on the insides. And what are they struggling with? Being a deadbeat father. Man, who wouldn't struggle with that? If you're a father and you have children and you're not out there helping your children, you coming home and playing PlayStation, you coming home or not coming home to womanize, and you got sons and daughters growing up, they need you to take them to a park to sit down and help them with their homework, to make sure that they're a part of, you know, some sort of extracurricular activity at school, the glee club, basketball, the chess club, football, you know, band, but you won't even be there for them or with them because you don't like the baby mother. You mad that the baby mother don't want to sleep with you no more. You silly and you's a clown. And that's why you not at peace. I'm not always at peace, man. Sometimes it's hard for me to sleep at night. Why? Because I see the things that I did. I sit back and I try not to ponder it. I've had people say, forgive yourself. Man, it's so hard to forgive myself when for 25 years I was inside and my mom was out here struggling with mental issues and she died 2 months before I came home. My aunt died of cancer 5-6 months before I came home. My grandmother died. My grandfather died, a hard-working man, and I wanted to impress him, man. You know, I wanted to show my grandmother and them I wasn't just about talking prison. I wasn't just about that pen and that paper. And I know people watching this will say they proud of you. They looking down on you. And I pray that that's the case, right? But that don't alleviate what's going on in my heart sometimes. So it's hard for me to sit there and find peace. It's hard. And I pray, I bow my head, and I talk to the Most High every day. And I thank him for the opportunity to be out here, to bear witness to his creation. You know, but just as much as I see the beauty, right? I see the hardship in my own family. You know, disagreements, man, that people can't get over. Pride that we can't get over. Fear. Fear not of one another. Fear of not getting things right. Fear of not really finding a genuine peace. And that's a hard thing, man. You know how many families are out here that aren't talking to one another? How many people that are fading in their bonds, and yet we find friendship in everything and everybody else, and that's cool because sometimes those closest to you won't be of your blood. That's okay. It's always been that case. Jesus had the disciples. They weren't of his physical blood, but they loved him and they put their life on the line for him. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he had the companions, the Sahabas. You know, they weren't of his physical blood, man, but they were warriors, and they sat around him at night. They went to sleep around him at night to protect him. Moses had Aaron, his family. That was his physical blood. You know, Noah had his sons, you know. So it's a beauty, man. In the book of Chronicles, it chronicles families. In the book of Matthew, it talks about the lineage of Jesus. So family is important, man. It's more important. I looked it up one time. Family, what does it mean in the old Latin? The old Latin, it, you know, traced as far back according to my dictionary in Latin, and it means servant. It means servant. You see, that means we work for one another. We do for one another. We help one another. How do we help one another? We bring the best to the table. Don't be family only when I need, when you need me, when you need a car, you need a money, you know, a lift, you know, some money, some help in your house. Babysitting, nah, I'm family even when I don't have it to give. Call me, check on me. But we only family and friends when we need something. That produces a disharmony in the hearts of the good, of those who are striving to be good. But it's nonchalant in the minds of those who don't care, who are used to using. And so that's why it's so little peace. When I set in them sales, man, I got a poem and I don't have my book on me, and I don't have it on memory, but it's called Friend or Foe, and it's talking about the sales. What is it? Was it a friend? And I'm gonna tell you, man, being forced to sit down for so many years made me look at life entirely different. I used to blame being raised in the Southeast. I used to blame being raised, around crack, smoking, and alcoholism and dysfunction. Moments are great, don't get me wrong. Moments are good, I got some strong family members, man, that struggle like I struggle, and they bounce back, man, and I'm proud of them, you know what I mean? So I'm not judging. All I'm saying is when you're raised in an environment that's shaping you with coarse and calloused hands, you become coarse and callous unless you're strong enough to shake it off. And most don't understand the strength inside of us, so we don't bring that strength to the forefront. We don't manifest this strength. We go along to get along. We out here every day trying to buy Polo, you know what I mean? Trying to buy all name brand because we still trying to impress outside of us when that's not gonna really bring peace inside of us, because those who are moved by trivial, I tell you what, they don't care nothing about you, they care about trivial. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wearing name brand, but I'm saying a lot of people spend their entire checks on name brand with the thought that somebody will be impressed by that, right? That's not peace. When you can't lay down at night without drinking, without smoking, that's not peace. I don't care what people say. I don't care if people say, oh, I'm good, I just do it to relax. No, we do it because we're trying to drown out something, and we're trying to find a peace, but that peace is only temporary, and that peace is actually artificial, because the minute it's gone, the minute that liquor is gone, the minute we sober up, the minute that high, we come down from it, man, and we still got the same problems. So I say this in conclusion: let us find our peace somehow, some way, man, without external influence. If those external influences aren't good for our body, our minds, and our spirits, let us fast together. Let us fast from cursing sometime, profanity. Let us fast from lusting sometime. And I'm not here to preach, I swear I'm not, but I'm saying these are the things that keep us in trouble. When you think about it, we lust all day, and what do? We find ourselves having a bunch of sex partners and a bunch of children and, man, a bunch of bad relationships, you know what I'm saying? So let us abstain from always giving into that passion. Let us abstain from eating so much, myself included. I ain't no small guy. I love, even though I'm a vegetarian, I really am. For the longest, for like 20 something years, I've been a vegetarian. Man, but I love, cheese and crackers. And I love, I love Chipotle. I love them both. I'm gonna be real with you. But, let us abstain if we can. Let us work on not drinking so much. Let us either minimize it or cut it off for a second. Let us find something in ourselves that will allow us to become stronger and better, if not for ourselves, for those who love us. Man, the babies need us to be strong, man. I swear to God, I'm tired of seeing murder. I'm tired of seeing babies, man. Sometimes where I go in Potomac Gardens, man, the kids be out there until, and I lie not, 11 o'clock at night. Babies, man, real live babies, man. Stuff be making me mad, man. It makes no sense. It makes no sense because parents are inside looking at YouTube, and it ain't my channel that they looking at, looking at Facebook all day. Our babies need us to engage them, to sit back on the porch, to talk to them, to tell them, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all be friends. Y'all be kind. Let's clean up. Family, man, it takes a tribe, but it takes the right tribe. So I thank you all, for following me, my progress, my aims. I'm still working. I'm moving upward. I'm moving onward. And I'll share with you all some of the stuff that I am doing. For those that do know, I have a Facebook page under my name, Khalid Kareem. You can check it out and you can see a lot of what I'm doing. Or my Instagram page, Khalid Kareem 75, if you are on those platforms, and if not, that's okay too. You know what I mean? I'll share what I can here. I'm actually about to start training in a gym. That a brother named Coach Anthony just got the keys to open this gym back up over here in Southeast in DC, and he told me, come on through, and if I can, bring a couple youngins, and if I can't, we're gonna get a couple youngins, man. That's an honor to me, man. That warms my heart, because anything I can do to work with and for the youth, that's where I'm at, man. So again, I thank you all for encouraging me, for pushing me, for saying that what I say or what I'm striving to do encourages and inspires you. I'm humble. So thank you all. Strive hard to have a good and blessed day. and know that if don't nobody else tells you, people care about you, people love you. Some people don't know how to tell you, you know, and I don't know you, but if you're striving to do and be better, and you striving to evolve, and I appreciate that and I love you, you know. So again, thank you all. Have a blessed day. You know, have a great weekend whenever you watch this, however you watch this. Just try to have a great day, because if no one around you makes it great, man, make it great yourself. Peace.